see a knockout, let me hear a KO. Tonight, fighting out of the blue corner this evening. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall. He weighs in at 240.4 pounds. Fighting out of Guymon, Oklahoma. Give it up for Cesar Gutierrez. His opponent tonight, fighting from across the cage out of the red corner this evening. He stands 6 feet tall. He weighs in at 207 pounds. Fighting out of Topeka, Kansas. Please welcome Colton Hill.
As I said there, Colton Hill, a huge AMI record, 15-1, but they look like they're almost in 2 different weight divisions.
Oh, very much so, man. Gutierrez is a big guy. Hopefully he's going to be able to use that weight as he's trying to sprawl and defend off takedowns.
Gutierrez said getting back on the winning track means everything to him tonight.
Well, Gutierrez is starting off right. I mean, he's controlling the center of the octagon here, and has Colton Hill on the outside.
Oh, that was a huge uppercut.
Colton Hill looking for that shot.
Lateral
Nice
body drop.
Hey, there's that blue belt right there. Looking for a choke there. Is he going to be able to roll?
Looking for almost the Darce there.
He might have it here.
This could be tight.
Now, instead of being like in more of a north-south, he gets his hips out.
Yeah, he's got to
laterally.
move around.
He's
Oh, I think he's out.
Hill's out. I think he's out. Hill is out.
Out.
Hey.
Cold. Cesar Gutierrez stops Colton
Wow, impressive by Gutierrez. Hey, everybody who was mad at my picks, I'm ready to cash in tonight at Fighting David. Come on. Gutierrez, good sportsmanship, trying to shake the legs and get the blood flowing back to Hill. Hey.
Big show of respect there out of Cesar Gutierrez. Talk us through the instant replay.
So he's just pressuring and throwing hands here. Nice lateral job. He did a good job of popping his hips, because a lot of times when you see that throw, people will just sit to their butt and expect to roll through. He pops his hips, advances the position, gets the Darce choke, get his hips lateral to Colton Hill, and gets the finish here. Now, I said in the preview show Gutierrez was going to come out with a chip on his shoulder. He came out a man on a mission tonight.
Yeah, it was a big chip, and boy, did he put Colton Hill down. Nice picks, David.
You know what? I'm not even going to lie, but it was a little bit of just a toss in the wind. But like I said, I like the underdog story. He had the chip on his shoulder. He missed the opportunity, missing the contract. He's coming off a loss. He had something to prove tonight, and if you ask me, he definitely proved something. Hill still out down on his back recovering here. Looks like he's talking, so that's a good sign. Movement from his legs, always good whenever your neck's involved in anything there.
And it's one of those that it's just the shock number one of going out.
Yes.
You were in the fight, and then all of a sudden you woke up.
Yes.
And it's a weird feeling.
Jeremy, I've been there before,
I
unfortunately.
have too.
It's not a good feeling. It's almost like you don't feel like you get knocked out. Right? You just wake up and then everything's kind of happening around you.
Medical staff, though, attending here to Colton Hill. Safety, as we always say, is of the utmost importance. But yeah, as you said, it's a tough one. When you're put out, you don't know what's going on when you come back. And if you're out for a few seconds, you've lost some oxygen, you've lost some time.
Very much so. And as a fighter and as a competitor, your mind instantly goes to, hey, I got to fight, I got to go.
Right.
But you're out of it. You can't,
And a lot of times, you'll see them whenever they come to. They'll double like the refs.
Yes. Then before you know it, the refs in round 4 of the fight right now, Gutierrez is the ultimate sportsman though here. I like what I saw that. I mean, we're already fighters. We all already fight. You know, at the end of the fight, drop the ego. Make sure your opponent's okay. Yeah. Everybody has to go home at the end of the night.
Exactly. You know, this is a sport. And that's what people don't understand a lot, is this is a sport. But again, fighter safety of the utmost importance. Shamrock FC, we always keep a bunch of doctors on cage side. But we still have more action to come here tonight, David. Our main event this evening, Sharky Slider taking on Paris Padilla. Now, Paris Padilla comes into this fight at 4-0. You know, that's a heck of a record as a professional, but has he really faced the competition of somebody like Sharky Slider?
That's the question here. Is he a big fish in a small pond? Can he really take that step up in competition and compete? There's only one way to find out how he's going to react under the lights here. These Shamrock shows, man, they can get pretty stressful, man. The lights, the crowd is energetic, the production is just great, and he's probably never seen anything like that before. So let's see how he reacts.
Why don't you have Ty put the camera on me and we'll... But we have, like I said, great fight there at our main event, Sharky Slider taking on Paris Padilla. But we also have this co-main event tonight, and that's going to be Kalen Bourne taking on Craig Fairley. Now, Craig Fairley is a very tough Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt. Now, talk about what it takes to get to that level.
Commitment, man. I mean, you probably have to put more hours than you would on any 9-to-5 job to move up in a career path. You know, a lot of these BJJ guys at that level, that's pretty much all they do outside of whatever they have to do to make sure they're living and they're okay, man. A lot of commitment. You really have to become a student of the sport.
Gutierrez walking over to me, he asked me a big question. He goes, is that good enough for Bellator? He knows that we have that great relationship with Bellator where our champions make it over.
I'll tell you what, if I'm Scott Coker and I put myself in Gutierrez's shoes and put context around his situation, what he did tonight was impressive.
You know what I'd like to see for Gutierrez like that? Jake Hager. Let's send him after Jack Swagger.
Hey, after that lateral drop, he might be able to out-wrestle Swagger here.
Most definitely. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we're getting ready here, our medical staff is working here with Colton Hill. Again, as we always say, fighter safety of the utmost importance. A big thing, though, that we are going to look at again tonight, we have already had some amazing fights, David. You know, talk to me about what do you think that your favorite fight of the night was so far?
Man, I think I'm actually going to go with the amateur title fight, man. It was so closely contested. You saw two athletes that really wanted to get out there and get it. I was very impressed, though, more than anything. These are two young guys that went out there and fought like seasoned vets.
Yeah.
More than anything, the sky's the limit for them two guys.
20 years old, Tristan Overick, 23 years old for Scroggin. I mean, that's a lot of talent for a very young age. I know you're a younger guy too, coming into the sport to make it to the professional level, but that's very young to be fighting in an organization like this for a title.
Very much so, man, and they went out there and they played human chess at the highest level.
Definitely. Now, again, let's talk though a little bit more about this main event tonight. Sharky Slider is a veteran of this sport. He has been all over for this bantamweight. I mean, and he told me, he says, I'm not going to be anybody's stepping stone.
Yes.
He said that that's not where I want to be. Paris Padilla is not going to make a name off of me. What is it like when you get into that position that you're the, he doesn't want to be the journeyman. He doesn't want to be that. Yeah. He wants to be the guy who's fighting for it. How hard is that to deal with?
Man, it's a part of the game, man. That's what we do. We go out there we're like artists in the rawest form. We put ourselves out there and we're vulnerable. And I gotta say, I saw Sharky earlier walking around the venue. I looked in his eyes and I just kind of saw that he wanted it.
Well, and it was a very big thing because so yesterday at the weigh-ins, Shamrock FC president Jesse Finney said that this was the best Sharky slider that he had seen as far as the mental game. Yes. The mental game is so important. And guys, as we talk about the mental game here in fighting, it's huge. You know, David, it's one of those things when you are onto it, it's all about you. Your head is right. You feel that there is nothing that can stop you.
Yeah, man. If you ask me, I'd say 90% of this is mental. The rest of it is physical. 90% of it is mental. Man, you see some of the best athletes, the best fighters, never really reach their full potential simply because they don't have it in between the ears. And you see guys that may not have the athleticism, but have it here, and they go a long way in this game.
Right. So now, you have been in that position. You know, you have trained with some of the best in the world. Tyron Woodley, you spent a lot of time at Rufus Sport. There's a lot of guys around you. How also does it help that, you know, Sharky Slider is training with some of the best in the business, where Paris Padilla is coming from a smaller town gym? You know, you've spent time taking punches from Tyron Woodley, former UFC welterweight champion.
I'll tell you what, man, when I first started off as an amateur, I had some explosive knockouts, but I was fighting out of fear. And I realized, I put things in perspective, like, hey, I spent time, I've been hit by Tyron, I've been kicked by Tyron. I go up to Rufus Sport, I get beat up by Manny Sanchez, I get beat up by Sergio Pettis, I get beat up by Rafion Stotts, and I realized that's the highest in the game. Nobody at my weight is gonna hit me harder than Tyron's gonna hit me. So what do I have to lose?
Right. So whenever you're in a camp situation like that, where you have these amazing killers around you, what does that do for your mental game, period?
High tides raise all ships. So it really is just one of those situations where you feed off of those guys, man, in that environment. You look to your left, you see somebody working, you're like, oh, you're competitive. I got to outwork them. I got to at least match them, but I got to outwork them. And that just raises everybody up as a whole.
Yeah, and when you get into the bigger gyms like that, where you have the guys who have made it to the UFC, have made it to Bellator, you know, it just becomes a different game where we're going to see how this plays out tonight. You know, Sharky Slider is trained with some of the best around. He travels a lot to do it. Paris Padilla stays in one camp. So we're going to see how this plays out tonight. But we have another bout coming. It's going to be a great night of fight still, David.
I can't wait to see it. I'm on the edge of my seat.
With that, we have gotten Colton Hill the medical attention that he needs. We are going to send this one up to Stephen Baer to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout has ended. 52 seconds of round number one. Your winner by guillotine choke out of the blue corner this evening. Give it up for Cesar Gutierrez.
A huge win for Cesar Gutierrez. Again, like I said, he said, is that good enough for Bellator? Let's see what's next for him. But we have more action to come, and we'll be right back right after this.